To my dear 20-year-old self that is just starting her healing journey, that is just starting to explore the depth that she holds within her. If I were to have a conversation with her right now, she's in front of me, and I'm to tell her everything I know about healing or about what's ahead on her journey, any wisdom I could share or encouragements. For reference, I'm 32 years old, so I'm speaking to a version of me that's about 10 years back. And when I was 20, or more so 19, I started studying psychology, and that's how it started. I had no awareness that we can heal ourselves or work on ourselves before that. I was more so unconscious, just living by the motion and living by my emotions, like they were controlling my life in a way where I didn't know we can actually shape our perceptions and circumstances. And when I started studying psychology, I was mind blown by all the doors that were opening in front of me. I was starting to shift my perspectives on stuff and learning that the brain, we can rewire your brain. And I became so passionate, very passionate, where I actually just completely devoted myself to healing, to this lifestyle. Not consciously, it just happened because I was so impressed by it. It was just like a calling at that point that I just followed that path. And since then, I've always been very passionate about healing, but healing has evolved. At first it was a lot psychology and the brain and motivational stuff too, but it evolved more into spirituality and meeting depths inside of me that I didn't know existed, and exploring a deeper awareness within my consciousness. And that's the thing, when we project ourselves in the future, if my 20-year-old would project itself to now, she would have never been able to imagine who I am now. She would have probably imagined, I'm living in a house with my husband and whatever, I have a kid or whatever, some very material and things I have, things I possess, but not what I have access to, because we can only project ourselves, imagine a future based on our level of perception and through the consciousness we have access to. So I can't project myself to when I'm 40 thinking life is going to look like this or that. It's definitely going to be different because I'm on this path of continuously meeting deeper aspects of myself and life and exploring that. So I can't know what deeper layer is not yet in my awareness. I can't know what I don't know. And well, hey, 20-year-old self, this is something I would love to tell you, and you know this, I believe, already, but you don't know what you don't know. So remain open. Always remain open. Every time you think you have the truth, there's always a deeper truth to this. And sometimes you'll be sure, and then life will humble you. Life will throw a curveball at you and show you that you never truly know, and there's always something more to discover. And that sometimes will feel like a curse because you do have the ability to see so much sides to a thing that sometimes it's hard to pick a lane. And you come to doubt yourself because you know stuff, and then life shatters it and shows you something deeper. You're always doubting yourself. Is this the truth? Is there a deeper truth? And the fact is that in this life, we're always students. We're always learning. We're always growing. So for sure, there's stuff that are not in your awareness. And I'm still learning this to this day, that I can show up in my truth, in what I know now, even if there's more to discover. Because for a while, you know, we remained blocked, so scared of being wrong that we stayed in the middle and never took a lane, you know? That's not where you are right now. Right now, you're like discovering something new and you're like, oh, I'm going there. But then life shows you so much stuff, which is amazing. So much, like, you know, it's like when you're walking in a place that there's a lot of mirrors, and then you see the mirror behind the mirror and the behind the mirror. It's like there's so much layers to it. But that's truly what makes it interesting. And in the same direction, your healing journey, like, you are just getting started. And I want to say, like, you are on the right path, and thank you. Thank you, because this is the moment where you are committing to something that will completely transform, like change the trajectory of your life for the best in ways you can't even imagine now. Thank you for your commitment to this lifestyle, to this way of living, to choosing growth, choosing healing, choosing expansion. Because this is what brought me here now. It's thanks to what you're doing right now. It's thanks to your level of devotion. And what I was saying is that the healing journey never ends. It's like there's just always another layer to it. And every time you get to another layer, you're like reaching more depth inside of you. You're like meeting another layer of yourself, and through that meeting another layer of yourself, you're meeting another layer of your awareness, of your perception, of consciousness, and it's making your life become very rich. Like, your inner life becomes more and more rich through this process. So when I say the healing journey never ends, it's not something to be discouraged about. It's actually quite the opposite. It's something to be excited about, because it means that you never get, like, there's never a point where it's like, oh, okay, there's nothing left. It's exponential. And it's not that it never gets easier, because I do know that sometimes it's freaking hard. I've been in your shoes, and I know that there's a lot of hard days to come, and you've already experienced a lot of pain and turmoil, especially because you're so sensitive and you feel stuff so deeply. But what I want you to know is that it does get easier. Even if I say the healing never ends, you build an ability to hold, like the skills and the tools, but also who you become. Life improves in ways that makes it worth it. And I know that now you're 20 and you love growing up. You know that thing where you're always like, some people are like, oh no, I'm like, when it's their birthday, oh no, I don't want to be 21, I don't want to be 22, I don't want to grow up, you know? Like, you love growing up because you love how much your life improves every year, and you wouldn't go back. It's the same now. I still wouldn't go back. Not like, it's nothing against you, but I wouldn't go back to being 20, because everything I gain through all the experiences and the pain and the healing is worth so much more than the ache from the healing, like the hardships. And when I say that healing never ends, what I'm not saying is that you're broken and that you need to fix yourself for the end of eternity. Like, healing doesn't mean that you're broken. Healing doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. What you will come to discover is that healing is peeling off the layers of what you are not. And through that, you meet what you are. You remember who you've always been, layer by layer. Yeah, I've had a few thoughts popping out, like that it's not yours to wear the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's not your job to heal other people. And this is something you will struggle with for a while, thinking that, like, wanting so bad people to heal, because you are going through such a process right now, and you're discovering a new world, and you're like, wow, if I could do it, everyone could do it. And it's coming from such good intentions, but it's also coming from some trauma, okay, from childhood, and thinking like you've always carried your family on your shoulders, thinking that it's your responsibility to take care of them, to make sure they are okay. And this follows you, so you think that you're meant to heal the world, but it's coming from this trauma that you have not yet, like, thinking that this is what makes you important or useful or needed or loved. But it's not your responsibility to heal anyone, not even yourself. And I know this is gonna sound a little bit odd, but you have no control over your healing. And this is not like a disempowering thing. It's just that your power is found in welcoming and being receptive to healing when it comes, like when it's ready. But it's not your job to force healing. Like, you can't force a breakthrough. You can't be like, okay, now I'm healing this and I'm gonna heal this, because there's so much things that come into healing where, like, we need to get a breakthrough, we need to learn a lesson. It's not only about understanding things. Like, healing happens in the body, it doesn't happen in the mind. The mind has limited capacity to heal, and for a while you're going to be more here, and throughout the years you're going to start to drop in the body, and that's where the big shifts are going to happen. So, like, right now, when we understand things with the mind, like right now I'm sharing to you all this knowledge, I know you understand most of what I'm saying, but it will only really shift once you integrate this knowledge. Integrated knowledge becomes wisdom. So, and through this integration, you embody what you speak about. You embody what you know. So there's a lot of times where you understand patterns. You understand why you are the way you are, why you have a certain behavior, and you're really, really skilled at this. Like, you're starting to discover this, and you're connecting all the dots. But then the patterns keep on repeating, and you're like, why? Like, why can't I heal this? Why is it always repeating? Why? It's because it's living in the mind, and it hasn't yet been integrated. You haven't yet moved this energy through your body, and that part is not in your control. This is what I'm trying to explain, that the breakthroughs and the lessons and the stuff that life throws at you are all meant to nourish this process of integration. And it takes time sometimes. Sometimes it takes years to heal, like, one pattern that it's just like a loop that keeps on happening. And it feels sometimes discouraging, because you're like, am I gonna stay like this forever? No, you're not. I'm certainty, things move, okay? It just takes the time it takes, and this must probably be the hardest part of healing, is the surrender, is the acceptance. It's like trusting the process and trusting that you are exactly where you're supposed to be at all times. And whatever life throws at you. Like sometimes you go through something very difficult that was not planned and you didn't expect this, or like, why is this happening to me? And I know in those moments, even today, when those moments happen to me, sometimes it's hard to see clearly that this is happening to help you embody and integrate and heal these deeper layers so that you can come out of it transformed. It's only when you're out of it that you see, when you look back and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. It rarely when you're inside you could see what it's bringing to you, okay? So it's when we're in those moments where everything is heavy, everything feels like, it's in those moments that we have to really drop into the trust and be like, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And through that, there's a process of surrender. Like, okay, let me be here. But that's something you're gonna learn throughout time too. This is a tool. This is why I said before, it gets easier, because you learn to really welcome all states, all experiences. And this is where you find your peace, the true peace. The alignment inside of you. My God, so much to say. So much to say, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself because it's like, you're gonna figure it out. I just know. Been there, done that, and I just know you're gonna figure it out. So let's talk a little bit about your relationship with yourself. I know like a part of you finds yourself really dope. And you know, like you've always knew, well, always, it's been a few years that you know there's something more. You've been feeling it. It's like you touch it sometimes, you know, sometimes it's there, and you're becoming more and more into yourself, like more outgoing and joyful and magnetizing too. But you've recently discovered that you are your worst enemy. I remember that moment where we had that breakthrough, and it was very alarming to realize that all the pain you feel, it comes from the relationship with yourself. Like, you are the one that is the most critical and hard and like almost like bullying yourself, you know? And I want to talk a bit about that relationship because it does greatly improve. And I can't say it's perfect at this time, yet what once was your greatest enemy is now your greatest lover. Like, I definitely am not my greatest enemy. Far from that. If you can be your greatest enemy, that also means that the greatest relationship you can have is with yourself. You're never gonna have a worse or better relationship than the one you can have with yourself. So everything external can equal that. So if you're your worst enemy, you can attract people that hurt you. But it's always going to be at a level to which you hurt yourself, if that makes sense. And I know you're a lover at heart, and you romanticize like meeting someone and love, and you know, you love that feeling of love. And it's always been, you've always tried to find it outside of you, but it's always been a craving to build it inside of you. And you've always had the ability, like you have the ability to create this relationship with yourself. It's a relationship of trust and of safety, and one you can rely on, and one that, you know, imagine like how it would feel to be with you, the greatest lover in your life, and then imagine you feeling like that about yourself. That's part of the things that make healing totally worth it. This process of mending the parts inside of you and becoming more whole and accepting and loving and compassionate with yourself, this is something that will greatly support you in your journey and carry you. And for that, you're gonna have to be put in situations where you completely abandon yourself. There's especially one period that life really pushes you to be once again that worst enemy against yourself so that you can come out of that, learning how to truly love yourself. So when you think you love yourself, know that there's even a deeper love you can have for yourself. Because you have a tendency to be really hard. You have a tendency to be really it's like that gift and curse kind of thing where you are so focused on growing and thriving and expanding that you're always seeing what's not there. And this I still go through, okay? I still sometimes have to remind myself to look at everything, to look back at like everything I did accomplish and everything I did become, all my gifts and everything that's strong about me, because sometimes I'm so focused and you are so focused on what you can improve on and on what you haven't yet managed to improve on that you're not seeing. You're not looking back and seeing everything you did become. You're not seeing how the needle has been moving. And then if you do achieve something that you've been wanting to achieve for years, it just passes just like it was always part of you, and then you kind of forget you were working on this for so long, and then it just happens naturally, becomes second nature, and then you just forget about it, and then you look at the next thing you need to improve on. Like, it's good, like it's a good thing to seek that, to be on this path of continuously growing, because it really nourishes you and, as I said at the beginning, like makes your life so rich. But never forget, like never look at this in a way that's like it makes you a bad person or unworthy person or whatever. No matter what you're still working on doesn't mean anything about who you are. Like, you are always this loving, abundant, beautiful being with such a great heart. And no matter the pain and no matter the mistakes, no matter how hard it is, you remain that person. All the rest is, as I said, layers that are not truly you. They are layers that kind of got stuck to you. It's kind of that, you know? You're starting to understand this whole, like, how things work in childhood. We create this whole personality and perception of reality that is wounded, that sees through the lens of, I need to be loved, so I will do this and that, and I won't do this and that. And those are stuff that are stuck to us. They are not the truth of who we are, yet they are true in our body. It doesn't mean like, oh, you're just delusional. Like, these things are real and they're true, and they deserve your love. Like, your wounds and your pain deserves your love, deserves your space, and deserves to be heard and seen. It's not something you have to throw in the garbage and be like, oh, I don't want you in my body. I don't want this. I don't want to be like that. That's just rejecting. And instead, this is like the big aspect of healing. It's being like, hey, I love you. Even if it hurts, even if it's hard, even if I do mistakes, I still love you. I just had this mantra come up in my head that I want to share with you, that you will come to discover at some point. And it's gonna really shift a lot for you, especially in building that relationship of trust and love with yourself, by forgiving yourself for all the times you abandoned yourself, and all the times you were mean or didn't act in your best interest or didn't know how to love yourself. Because you want to love yourself, but sometimes you just don't know how. And you do stuff that are not very loving. But that's okay. And this mantra, it's a Hawaiian mantra called Ho'oponopono. It's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And there's a time in your life where you're gonna repeat that often when you're healing some stuff. And every time you're gonna cry so deep, and just something that's gonna heal inside of you with yourself. Because you're gonna be spending a lot of time with like older, younger versions of yourself that went through a lot of pain, that didn't know how to handle things because you just didn't have the tools at the time. There's nothing wrong with that. And as you build the tools, you're gonna go back to those moments and you're gonna spend time with that version of you that didn't have the tools. And you're gonna give her the tools so that she can free herself. So all these versions, they live inside of you, especially if they haven't been met yet. And you're gonna hold her hand and you're gonna say, I see you. It was so hard. It must have been so hard to deal with this alone. And you will say, I'm sorry. And you will say, please forgive me. You will say, I love you and thank you. And you'll cry with her. And that will be so healing. And I guess this is why I'm speaking to you right now. Because you see now I'm crying. And it's like I'm crying with you. And I'm acknowledging, because you don't do it a lot, acknowledging all that you are. The power that you hold. The beauty that you are. I know sometimes you don't feel beautiful. Or you look at yourself in the mirror and you just don't feel beautiful. But I see you. I see you. And I forgive you. And I love you very deeply. And I thank you, oh God. I thank you because it's not easy. And you're relentless. You're freaking stubborn in the good way. Like, you have a stubborn heart. You're not stubborn in your mind. A lot of people would give up because it takes you a lot of time to shift things. And a lot of people would give up. But you just always come back because there's something so powerful that lives in you. There's a knowing that feels sometimes bigger than you, that leads you, that shows you the way, even if you don't understand it. To follow that, it's that same intuition that guided you when you were 16 and that you were addicted to drugs and you went so deep down and something led you out of that. Something, and you don't know what it was. Remember, it was just a light, a small speck of light. It was just I can't do this anymore. There's something more. And you followed that. Will always follow that. It's just so amazing because you have no idea. You have no idea what's ahead. It's not like you imagined. But it is better. It's gonna feel like a long time coming, but when it's gonna come, it's gonna be like another like whoa worlds that open in front of you. And whatever feels like a curse, everything that has felt like a curse in your life is actually like your greatest gifts. And I'm still exploring that. I'm still becoming that. I'm still very young, 30, 32. There's still so much. And I'm excited to see what my future self, our 40-year-old, 50-year-old self has to tell us. But it's definitely even more mind-blowing. And there's definitely just a lot that I can't even explain in words that you would truly understand, but I hope you can feel them. And I know sometimes the world, it feels like a very dark place, and sometimes you feel like you don't belong because of how sensitive you are and the things you're able to see, and you're like, I don't belong here. Or also because of all the pain you're holding, making you feel like you don't have your place in the world. This is one of the things that I said as a curse. You know, your voice has been blocked for so long. But it's actually what's meant to activate you. There's something very powerful in your voice, and I'm saying this because I know it, but I'm still discovering it. And it's not so much the words you say, it's something in the energy, in the frequency of what you share, of who you are, and your sensitivity that always felt such like a curse because you could feel the pain so deeply. That is the gift. That I'm so glad we are sensitive the way we are, because it's priceless to be able to feel in such depth. Because whatever pain you have felt, imagine that you can feel the equal opposite. So all the joy and the aliveness is equal to the amount of pain you're able to hold. Okay, so this sensitivity, it's something to become, but will give you access to such richness and aliveness and depth that even the pain sometimes feels good. Yeah, there's moments where it doesn't feel too good, but there's moments where it feels good. When I fully surrender into it, it feels good. It feels good to just okay. But yeah, the world is fucked up. The world is fucked up. And the fact that you never felt like you belonged is actually, in a way, by design, because you were never meant to belong in this world. You were meant to create a new world. And again, I'm not saying this in a way that you have all the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, this is not your responsibility. The only thing you need to focus on is yourself and your healing. The rest, it just happens. Like, you become the change you want to see in the world. That's Gandhi that said this quote. I think you already know this quote. Become the change you want to see in the world, and not in a way that you're responsible for the world, but you move in a very unique way. And I really encourage you to continue moving in that very unique way that works for you, because you were never meant to follow the crowd. Okay, you were meant to go on in the uncharted path and like territory and create a path. You are meant to create new ways. And you don't even need anyone following you. You don't need to convince anyone. Okay? You just stay on your lane and just know that it's not because everyone does something that it's the right way to do it for you. Okay? Let people do what they do. Let the world be how it is. Focus on where your power is. It's you. It's when you take those layers off, you discover you, and that's the you that is just magnificent. Anyways, this has been a good chat. I'm sure I would think of so much stuff I didn't say yet, but I'm gonna go eat something. Or maybe work out. Okay, anyways, enjoy the ride.